Hello and welcome everybody to the Guzzlers podcast.
Yippee!
I'm Jack. Here is
Alex.
and
Neve.
so today is a bit more of a casual episode. We've done a few lore-heavy ones, and we're thinking just want a chill day today. Really, it's been busy recently, so we're just taking a bit of a relaxing spin.
Gym session.
We just got back from the gym, deadlifts for the dark gods kind of stuff.
Oh.
Love him so much.
Not one of us
Please kiss
deadlifted.
me.
Not
No.
one of us deadlifted. Let's be
I
honest.
almost vomited on the bicycle though. I don't like cardio. But anyway, what are we doing today, boys? What are we doing?
We're doing a sort of comprehensive overview of our hobby experiences, from how we got into the hobby, what we enjoy about the hobby, just the hobby as a whole.
Yeah, just going over hobby experiences, basically.
Chatting shit about different
Anything
editions.
notable. Right, do you know how I said don't speak in the first 2 minutes because you'll swear?
I haven't said anything yet.
You did! You said the S word.
Oh shit.
That was
Oh my god, Jack!
Right, we could edit the start
Oh,
out. We could have at
oh,
least edited the
oh.
start out.
So anyway, that will probably be bleeped with like a pew noise or something like.
I've been trying to get like a wah.
No, do.
Right, I've got a really good idea. Why don't we censor it with another swear word?
Oh,
You held that back
I
in.
caught
you held
myself.
that in.
You're
I'm
actually
impressed. I'm impressed.
idiot, you know. Like.
Okay. Onto the topic itself.
Who
So
wants,
Warhammer.
Yeah, who wants to start us off with a little like experience? Do you want to chat about? Oh, by the way, it's gonna be an easy listen compared to the other ones. So sit back and just turn your head off. To be honest,
For the audio listeners, I have my hand bolted right in the air because I want to
only
start.
hits about the 5 foot mark with her hand up.
Oh, yeah. So I want to talk about getting into the hobby because it's different for all of us. That is something we can all share our individual experiences on. And for me personally, I know that it was like the day after my birthday, probably pretty hungover still from the night out
Yeah.
in the rock bar or whatever me and Alex did for my birthday.
it was
a rock bar, which I left early because I had indigestion really bad, but not the point. Standard for me. He turned up at my house and he had this little bag, and I'm like, oh, what's in the bag? And it was a little Squig Rider model and some glue. And the thing is, I didn't have any tools. I only had
God.
instructions.
No.
So-
This is awful.
Alex and Jack
Trigger warning,
hate this.
trigger
Yeah,
warning.
trigger warning for any model nerds out there.
If you're sensitive, turn off now.
Yeah, if you're sensitive about models being butchered, turn off now. I just like kind of like push and popped out the pieces to like glue it together.
No pliers, no scissors, just fucking pushing them out.
Yeah, literally just like popping them out. Like I thought that was what you were meant to do. So that model definitely has like a couple warts. Like that's what they look like from the sprues not coming out properly. Like,
Tumour here and there.
yeah, something like
It's
that.
a kit bash.
No, it looks. It's a squig. It's a little joyful meatball. Like it's not gonna look.
As long as it's red and
Amazing.
round, it's fine.
But the issue Alex has caused
Not what my
now.
doctor
The
said.
issue Alex has caused now for me is I way prefer building and painting Warhammer Age of Sigma than I do to 40k. Much to you guys' dismay, because you guys are more exclusively
We love
40k.
yeah.
You do
Yeah.
have your Sigma models.
Oh, I love a bit of Sigma.
I barely class me as having Sigma models.
I
really.
have
I'm just
a
Skaven.
lot of Sigma.
You have Skaven. You have Slaves to Darkness. You have Ogre tribes.
I only have like 10 warriors and the
Uh-huh.
Chaos Lord and Cockadrak model because
That's a cool name.
such a
to
cool
be fair.
name. I saw. I was like, that's cool.
So, yeah, that's my sort of introduction. What
Yeah.
my introduction to the hobby was through you guys.
Yeah,
You
blabbering on about it.
You've been Alex. You have been like a consistent fan over the years, as far as you have like
Yeah.
always been into it. And Jack, if I remember right, you were into it when you were younger, then didn't, or like went off it for a little bit and then came back, or just didn't engage with it as much and
Yeah.
then came back.
So, my dad is a massive nerd, right? Like, he's really, really nerdy. Like, definitely autistic. I wonder where I get it from. So I used to like play video games on his lap when I was like 3, 4. Play Lara Croft, like the old school ones, like you know,
Tomb Raider.
triangular titties. Okay.
The
And he
best.
was like, oh, he's been making some models. He's putting it in. We walked past the Warhammer shop where I lived, and I was like, oh, can we go in there? And he's like, yeah. Yeah, we can. Okay, go in there, and I remember seeing I had the Assault on Blackreach set. What was that? 7th edition or
It was
something? No, it's
before
wait,
that.
it's
It was
5th or 6th.
Fifth or sixth. Yeah, fifth.
Oh.
Fifth was fifth.
It was the like Ultramarines. You had some Terminators and stuff, and like a little
box
dreadnought.
dread.
I think. Yeah, the box dread
I love
versus
the box
the
dread.
orcs. Your war boss. You got your knobs. Your deathcopters.
The orc kit generally, like, I think if I could buy that again, I would start an orc.
Yeah, it's honestly that might have been
Beautiful.
Assault on Blackreach might have been the best box I've ever had.
Yeah.
But I walked in there. Me and my sister, the people there in the store helped me and my sister. We must have been like 5 and 7 at the time, right? I was the older one. Play a game against each other.
With the box, like the Assault on Blackreach box.
Yeah, Assault on Blackreach
Nice.
box, like an introduction game. I fell in love with it, and I got it for my birthday later that year.
Oh.
And that was my introduction to it.
Didn't you have a Warhammer birthday party as well?
Oh,
I did.
I had some of those.
Yes.
They're so fucking fun.
This was the year I got like my 4 closest friends. We went there. We basically just spent the day in there. We were young kids just painting and building models, playing a little game. We each bought like a kit, and it was just sick. I remember though, one of my friends who didn't know what he was doing decided to buy a terrain kit.
I was going to ask you about this. I was going to ask you.
Oh.
I remember you saying, you're like, oh yeah, one of my friends just bought terrain but no models. So he just has terrain sitting around somewhere.
I think that's.
We should ask.
Now.
We should.
I
was just saying we should ask
buying
him
a
for
terrain
it.
kit, to be fair.
It was so.
It's
He did it
beautiful
for the
terrain.
boys, so we'd be able to play, but we never played. It was so funny. But I was I got the Space Marine part of the sort of Blackreach. My sister had the orcs. Originally, I had both because she was brainless. I don't think she was
She didn't really
conscious at
want
that
it,
time.
It's an
and
easy
yeah.
split Christmas present.
Yeah. So it was quite good, and from there, I've been dabbling in and out of Warhammer for a few years. I've really got back into it now. I stopped playing it probably like 2-3 years because I only really played against myself. I got a lot of models though as a kid.
You've got to sit at the board.
No,
and
it's like
play
when
with
you it's
yourself.
like when you have like Lego and you have like lore, right? And you're like, oh, this guy and then and like they fight each other. But it was like that. I was like, oh, I had a Land Raider. I had some Tyranids I bought because I was like, oh, Tyranids are like the flying ones, the gargoyles, they like dive from the
I had
Land
Gene
Raider.
Stealers. I got that little box of Gene Stealers.
And it was really good. And then I stopped playing for a bit because I got to like secondary school or I grew up a bit. I was midway through primary at that point. I was like, oh, what am I doing? I'm cool. And I was, and then I wasn't cool. And then I think it was GCSEs, maybe year 9, year 10 for me. I started being like, oh, I see a Warhammer little like games shop here. And I went back in and it was Dark Imperium.
Oh.
8th edition, Death Guard redone. I was like, oh, come on, you know what?
You are a Death Guard player at
I'm a
heart.
sucker for Death Guard. I really am.
Would you say for Death Guard or your Blood Angels?
Death Guard.
Death
100%
Guard's-
Death
It
Guard.
was your like first love sort of thing.
Yeah, it's
Death
so...
Guard models are amazing.
Because my
as well.
friends at the
Oh,
time,
they're
a couple of
sexy.
them were back into Warhammer. They're playing Kill Team. We had a club after school. They'd play... I was never into...
Kill
I've never
Team's
played it.
rough. It's I played
Yeah.
a few games of it when Kill Team 2nd edition came out, and if you just get one thing wrong, your
Yeah,
army's
I
gone.
was much more of a like sit down, play 2,000 point girly. I'd love that stuff. So I bought Dark Imperium. I did it for the Space Marines. I was like, oh, Death Guard are cool as well. And you get a rule book in with it. You got like the little codexes or whatever. It was worth it just for the Space Marines. And then I fell in love with the Death Guard. And I stopped playing because I fell out with those mates a bit. Because, we'll get onto it later. They were a Tau player who didn't like to actually play the game.
Well, no, he liked to play the Tau player standard.
The Tau player standard at 8, yeah.
You've like reinvigorated a memory for me somehow in saying they're like an after school club. I didn't realise at the time my secondary school had a Warhammer club, but I didn't know what it was. And in my head, as I do all the time, I took Warhammer as a very literal statement, and I
Yeah.
thought they were just like fighting with hammers or something.
Just hit each other over the head like. Rah!
I was like I was trying to ask this guy who went, because there was this guy that I was pretty good friends with at the time, who went and did it, and I was trying to ask him about it. It's like, yeah, you just paint little models, and all I was thinking was like tiny model hammers for some reason, or like fancy hammers like Thor's hammer and stuff. I don't know what was going
What,
through
like
my
inflatable
head.
ones, like squeak on the end.
Oh.
Bonk!
That was the first time I ever heard about Warhammer, but I just didn't know what it were.
Yeah,
So
but
until you in first year constantly going on about it, showing me
Yeah.
your models.
yeah.
As soon as like you meet someone who you think might want to get into the hobby,
Yeah.
the natural reaction of every hobbyist is just info dump.
Do this, yeah. In all fairness, but then after I fell with that mate, I just stopped playing Warhammer.
Mm.
Got to uni, no one played Warhammer, so I'm like, oh mate, I started like doing my thing. I met you, Neve,
Yeah.
because we were in the same course doing engineering. We had some lectures together, and then I met your flatmate here, Alex, and now we're living together. And I was like, "Oh, you're into Warhammer as a kid? Oh,
Yeah.
me too. Do you want to like both get a combat patrol and play some games?" And it works.
We have come like
So
we've
fucking
come
good.
full circle as far as like I lived with you and then I didn't and now I am again.
Yeah.
And it's so
The
fun.
flat this year. So last year, my flat was like the group hangout spot,
Yeah.
and we had
It was
literally
literally
like
every night,
a
pretty much,
huge
wasn't it?
table. Yeah, every night we'd all come around and play like Warhammer and paint some Warhammer or something.
Yeah.
And we had this big table from your flat we stole.
Yeah.
And we had
oh my
some
God,
like
that was
IKEA
awful,
furniture
that
we built
carry.
as well.
Can we talk about that carry real quick? Like those folding gaming
Oh.
tables when
Oh
you're
my
taking them around.
goodness.
Ow.
I'm
Ow.
gonna carry the bones.
The second time, I refused to carry it to our house here from Jack's old house because we literally did swapsies from mine, and I
It
was
was
dying. I'm
dreadful.
a weak little
That
bitch,
was in
man.
summer as well.
No,
Yeah, I just gave it to
me
you
and
instead.
Jack carried that shelf from his old house. We stopped so many times.
It wasn't. No. You
it's-
stopped. I'm built different.
It's the
Okay.
Warhammer
All-
shelf.
all
It
you
was the
have to say-
Warhammer shelf.
Yeah.
I mean, for Jack, all we have to say to get him to literally keep carrying stuff is who's going to carry the boats. And
I'm-
I've never seen a man just like generally push through more pain in my
The
I'm a
life.
issue
simple
was-
bloke. I'm really simple.
The issue was we bought a £35 shelf from IKEA because we wanted to keep everyone's Warhammer
displayed.
at Jack's flat
Yeah.
because it was in the middle and we wanted to display it. But then we get to this house and then there's an even bigger display sort of set of
Bookshelf.
shelves
There's a
already
big
here.
bookshelf.
That literally
there.
looks like
Oh,
someone's
it's-
taken a Warhammer
Oh, it's
to
fallen
it.
apart. But,
It's
but like so
we're a
now,
little one gust of wind, that thing falls over. The like $5,000 of Warhammer
Yeah,
around
I was
it, gone.
I think it's more than £5,000 to be honest.
This house is
No.
covered
Including
in
the
Warhammer. It's
spray
bad.
paint.
No, actually, if we also, I reckon if we got all of our piles of shame and completed, but
My Chaos Knights
like,
alone
There's
are
literally
like-
grey plastic on the desk right now.
My Chaos Knights are like 300 there. My Blood Angels are probably 500. My Death Guard's another like few hundred. Like my stuff alone is getting £1.5 grand. Yeah,
Actually,
a
I
couple
think
hundred.
I'm well over. I think I'm well over £1.5 grand now. To be
Yeah.
fair.
Mate, you have a Titan.
You have a Titan.
That I did not buy
Yeah.
that at uni. That was investment.
I-
Let's
It's child trust
let's
fund.
Alex. We haven't talked about
Yeah,
how you got
how
into
did you get into it?
Because I know
So-
you and me both started at Blackreach, didn't we?
Yes, I remember being very young kid. I literally didn't even build or paint any of my first models. I got my
Yeah.
parents to do them all for me. And then I remember my second cousins, like fucking, we have a very small family. That's pretty close for us. Like came over, and they were big Warhammer nerds because my mum and dad got them into Warhammer. Ironically, because they literally just took them to a game
Yeah,
shop.
because
bought them a map.
your dad paints minis, right?
No,
But not
no,
Warhammer.
no. My dad doesn't paint.
I thought they were Monty
he
Python
used to paint.
minis.
Oh, that's because I got him some for his birthday.
Ah, right, okay.
But he used to do airfix, and I was about 8, so they
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
really. They were like, "Oh, cool, model shop. We'll just go in and get them something." And then
Yeah.
it turns out it was Warhammer, and then before you knew it, they were infected.
Plastic crack addiction.
Literally,
No, it spreads like the plague.
It
It really
does.
does.
You get the right fucking autism kid, like one plastic mini, and like,
No.
You get that one like gifted kid. He's a bit quiet. You show him a space marine, and life's over.
non-verbalism to it.
I sometimes post my models on my social medias, on just like my personal social medias as well as the Gully Guzzlers Instagram, so go look at that. But whenever I do, I always get another person who I went to like school with or I went to college with popping up being like, "Oh, I used to do that when I was younger." I had somebody pop up and be like, "Oh, I used to play Warhammer Fantasy." I'm like,
Oh.
"How long ago did you play?"
No, because fantasy was around when we were getting into
Yeah.
Blackreach. So like that was the
So
only
bear in
Warhammer
mind,
for
how old were you when?
6.
If we might, I'll actually check this.
So this is like people remembering things from when they were 6 or 7, and they're now like 21 years old, and they're like, "Oh, I used to play that," or they'll just be like, "Oh, I've seen loads of that on Instagram. Is it good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, do it.
Do it.
Get into
It's
it.
so fun.
It's so fun."
If you like constantly doing something, 'cause I'm someone who cannot be still for too long. I need to do something at least.
No,
passively.
we must have been. I would have been 12. Assault on Blackreach
Really? Really
released.
that old? No, I can't be
Wait, no, hold on. This is.
I
wrong.
got Assault on Blackreach in my first house, and I moved when I was 8.
Yeah,
So it has to be
2008.
4-8.
2008. So I would have been 6.
Yeah, I'd have been 6 then as well. Because 2000. No,
You
I'd
would
have
have
been
been
5.
five.
I'd have been 5. Shit.
Just for clarity, me and Alex are not a year younger than Jack. Jack is just
I'm
like
born at
in
the
the
end
following
of.
year.
He's just
the
built
very end
different.
of the year before. Yeah, and you guys are born at the start of it.
Yeah, we're young. Some
But
of us
no.
are born
So
in
you
August.
must have been like 6, 7, because I remember it was before I was in primary school. Really,
Yeah.
like before I was properly like sorted out.
I generally do stand by. I think Assault on Blackreach was one of the, especially for when it came out, it was like 5th, 6th edition when the rules were so goddamn awful.
Oh.
It was one of the best sets to get
Yeah.
into the hobby.
And you've been really consistent with like being into the hobby, like your whole life.
I only missed 7th edition,
Yeah.
And even when I missed 7th edition, I still kind of kept up with the model releases and the lore.
When
and
was,
I had
when
always
was
had models
7th? Would that have been
around.
when we were in college?
7th was Dark Imperium, or
No, Dark Imperium was 8th.
Oh.
See, I started in like 9th, like end of 9th, so this is really
Actually, wait, what's Dark
confusing. And I only really played
I
6th.
have a feeling Dark Imperium was 7th, but
Indomitus
it
was 9th, wasn't it? Necrons
Indomitus was 9th, yeah.
Yeah, so Dark Imperium was before Indomitus, so Dark Imperium was 8th.
No, I'm not
swear
sure.
it
Dark
was.
Imperium. There was something in between because I stopped
No,
playing.
no,
I stopped playing for years.
7th was Dark Angels and Chaos. Remember when Chaos Chosen came out? I swear 7th was that, because I remember the Dark
It
Angel
might have
books.
been.
What's this?
I am looking. We haven't all
We're,
just
we're,
gone
we're
quiet.
trying to research. I'm sorry, we're trying to research.
But-
On that note,
yeah.
you've been to a lot of sort of games workshop classes, right?
Not class. I did a couple painting ones way back in 5th. I think I was still in 5th when I was doing
Not
those,
just
so they
in
ran
5th,
them.
also in 9th. Because I remember
Oh,
picking
God.
you up hungover from the Warhammer shop because you decided to go to like a painting class. When
No,
you were...
I literally just went there to paint.
You just wanted to paint?
Yeah, I
You
just
didn't wanna go
asked the
in
guys. I
uni
was like,
room?
"Hey, can I just like go?" But yeah, because I was thinking, oh, they might tell me off, so I need to like go here. Now I know they don't give a shit. But like originally, I was like, oh, don't get in trouble. So I just went to the store. And it's actually quite fun.
Much worse things has happened in those rooms.
Right.
Yeah, I was safe.
In those uni halls rooms.
So, Dark Imperium is actually 8th. Yeah.
Knew it.
So I played 5th. Probably I was definitely around in 6th, playing with myself. Not in that way. I was like 8 years old, and then I just stopped. Came back in 8th. Chilled after 8th for a couple years. Came back mid 9th with you. Now we're goblins for 10th.
Indomitus is really what I think what pulled me back into like huge buying in the hobby was Indomitus, because I remember seeing that box thinking, I love Necrons. They're cool. I like Space Marines now because those Primaris guys from the Tabards actually look cool.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, I think I would have bought this
Like,
box.
I've always liked Primaris. That's a little thing. Let's talk about that. I got into Dark Imperium. I loved Old Marines because I played 5th.
Yeah.
But Dark Imperium, there was something about the aggressors in that box.
The aggressors were awesome, actually.
I looked at them, I was like, wow. The aggressor
cool.
captain I got actually made me cream a little bit.
What's the Imperium, by the way?
Dark Imperium.
Oh, the Imperium
was
in
a
general.
box set.
Oh, was it? Okay. I sometimes don't know what things mean because I only got in 9th and was mainly into
Yeah,
Sigma.
so 9th was Indomitus box set. It was the Necron versus Space
Necron.
Marine
Yeah.
starter set. 8th was Death Guard versus thing, and that was called the Dark Imperium.
Yeah.
I have to admit as well, I have a big soft
And now
spot
we
for
have
Necrons.
Leviathan,
We're on. It is Leviathan.
Yeah, it's Leviathan
Yeah.
10th.
which is Nids and Space Marines.
It's
It's
always
always
Space
Space Marines.
Marines.
Yeah, I don't think it's
Yeah.
ever. I think they changed chapters a couple of times because they did. I think they did a Dark Angels box for 7th, and that was one of my favorite boxes actually because Dark Angels captain you got in that box.
But it took you
was
till
badass.
10th to get some Dark Angels there.
I did because I didn't really. I don't know. I never clicked with Space Marines as a kid. I was very much a Xenos player because my army that I played was always Necrons when I was younger,
Yeah.
and Orcs as well.
That's-
Necrons and Orcs were
that's
my
kind of
army.
wild,
actually
yeah.
something that I wanted to ask as well is because I kind of know for Jack, but for Alex, it's a little bit more complex. Can you name me every army you've collected at least one set of,
Okay.
including Sigma? By the way.
Right.
You can start with Sigma because I know you've got less.
Sigma is easy. I've got the Auric, what the torture ones, the grimy sewer swamp
the beastie ones with
Yeah.
the on the ride,
The skinny-
on the big things.
I've got those guys. I've got Stormcast Tunnels, Skaven.
You got Stormcast Eternals.
Yeah, I've got Dominion because I really like the
I
Dominion
didn't know you had
box.
Stormcast
Sigma
Eternals.
came out, yeah.
Yeah, Dominion was
So you
awesome.
got Stormcast, Skaven.
Stormcast,
Ogre-Maw tribes.
Skaven, Ogre-Maw tribes, and I'm not gonna class the box of Night Ones I have because I did not build them as Night
You
Ones.
have Slaves Darkness though, right?
Oh, and Slaves Darkness, yeah.
You have a lot.
And that
I
is
didn't know you had
all my-
Nighthawk.
Oh, I also have. I don't have them as Night
Okay,
Ones.
right,
I
yeah.
use them for my Night Lord's force because
Oh.
I needed flake skin.
Right, now tell me about all your 40k, including kit
I'll
bashes.
break it down to Horus Heresy. So Horus Heresy, you have Sons of Horus, Night Lords.
you have fucking Horus Heresy as well.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
I love Horus Heresy.
I've seen your room.
And I also have some Word Bearers. And then and I have a Legion Mortis Warhound Titan. I was very irresponsible with Child Trust Fund money, but I do not regret it. Because
Returned
fuck
18.
you, do you have a Warhound Titan?
What number
You
Warhound
feel
was
so-
it?
Brilliant. It's like 4,000. So many fuckers own them. It's not as
4,000
expensive.
globally.
We need to get the certificate out and find out.
I framed it on my wall. It's genuinely hanging
Right.
above my bedroom door. And then
40K.
40k, I have Space Wolves.
Where'd you get the Space Wolves? When did you get them?
That was back in 6th.
Okay, so that wasn't recently, because you were. I knew you were thinking about getting back.
Oh,
into
I was.
It recently.
Because I remember as a kid, I loved painting Space Wolves. They were really cool because they had tassels and corners.
I hate Space Wolf players.
Yeah, so do I. That's why I play them.
Here are opinions on Space Wolves in the first podcast.
Yeah.
Space Wolf players are kind of like Viking metalheads, where they take themselves a little bit too seriously and should
also-
probably chill the fuck
That
out.
was such a niche comparison.
It generally is true though, because you
No,
see these blokes with like the most horrendous beards ever singing
The
songs about
rune
pillaging
tattoos,
and
the
stuff.
rune
Yeah.
tattoos,
It's
yeah.
like, dude, you literally look like if you
Alright,
deviated your diet slightly, you'd have a panic attack. Like,
You
back
look
on
like
topic.
you're lactose intolerant.
But space players are literally the same.
Okay,
But yeah.
let's. What have you got? Space Marines. What kind of
Apologies.
Space Marines have you got?
I have one Flesh Terror, loads of Black
Just a
Templars.
singular Flesh Terror.
I wanted to trial paint.
What, did you get Gabriel Seth or something?
No, I just painted it Standard Primary's Intercessor.
Fair.
Because I really like the Flesh Terrors, but I
Nice.
didn't know if I wanted to paint a whole army, and I was way more overconfident.
Is that even a
space?
that's a Chaos Space Marine, right?
No,
Nope.
Flesh Terrors
Blood
are Blood
Angels.
Angels.
Oh,
They're borderline Legio Traitoris, though.
my
which is fun.
my head was just thinking World Eaters for some reason. Anyway, carry on.
Then I've got Orcs and Necrons, two of my big
Yep,
armies.
I
I've
see
now
those.
got a Tau army as well, which I want to keep building out. I do want to play Tau eventually, because I really like melee close combat Tau, because no one expects it.
Oh,
It's really fun.
oh,
But not Commander
Oh,
Farsight.
PTSD to
Time to say,
playing
time to say.
fucking Death Guard against
Not-
Tau.
Not Commander Farsight. If you like Commander Farsight in 6 Crisis Suits, wow, how original. Like, cool. Just grow up. Like,
Anyone seen us? You said your Gene Stealers.
I do have some Nades. I have Gene Sealers and Hormigorns and a Lictor, because the Lictor was really cool. It's a really cool model. Flip.
Do you have any Imperial?
Ultramarines, Imperial Guard. I'm trying to remember now. Dark Angels.
Like, you're going back and forward now.
No, I said Black Templars.
Yeah, I was saying, I thought you were going through one faction at a time.
I'm trying to remember. It's when they come to my head, because I've got quite a lot.
You have you had World Eaters at some point as well.
Legio, the Scions, I forgot their Tempesta Scions, World Eaters, Chaos Space Marines, Custodes.
Every faction in the game.
Almost.
Actually, it's probably as easy to name the
Except
ones I don't
Votan.
have. Sisters of Battle, I don't have.
You don't have Votan.
Who
You
the
don't
hell
have
has
Knights.
Votan?
I do have Chaos Knights. I have Chaos Knight.
You do have a Chaos Knight. I was
Yeah,
going to buy
I'm wanting rid of it.
Do you have
I
a
always
regular
don't.
knight?
No, I don't like
Oh,
regular Knights.
cool.
They're boring.
If you play not Imperial Knights, you're actually
Yeah.
just a bit of a fucking stinking
I
version.
don't have any Imperial Knights either. What else don't I have? I do have Nades, do have Orcs, do have...
Aldari.
I don't have any Dark Eldar.
You've just started on Aldari though.
I
You
have
don't,
Eldar.
yeah, you don't have Drukari. You don't have Harlequin. Well, no, you do have
I do have a
Harlequin.
Harlequin. I just don't have any Dark Eldar. Or Yunari. I don't really like the Yunari. I prefer
Yunari,
old
I think
school.
not really their own faction anymore.
They're weird. It's like cool. Eldar get a
Harlequin's a
mainstream,
borderline, but
but I like my little. I like the little weird craft ones. They're cool. But yeah, I generally I can't think of any
you
other
have
ones
pretty
I
much
don't have.
everything, yeah.
I do. I have at least one model of everything.
Yeah.
See, you don't have like one type or faction you like to collect. Like I'm a big Chaos nerd.
Mm.
Neves, what? You're a Xenos girly.
See, I'd say
Yeah,
I'd
I like
class
creatures.
myself as also Xenos. I think out of all of them, because I have the most Xenos armies.
You don't have guard.
I literally only have like one command squad because I want to play a command squad.
I was gonna play
Oh,
guard, but
and
then I went to
Valkyries.
Gene Stealers and then I got bought out.
Yeah, you did. Let me explain that. So, going through the armies that I have. If Alex is finished, are you done? Or are
I
you
was
still
counting.
going?
I've got 4 different Xenos armies, and I only have
Yeah.
a couple of them here, so
So,
I think I'm
I
lucky
have
Xenos.
2 technically, but one's not really an army. So Sigma, I have 1,000 points of squigs, and it's mainly just squigs and troglyphs. I'm
It's
not
literally
a
the red
huge
tide.
fan of the grots. It is. It's the meatball. It's the IKEA meatball.
Yeah.
The Marinara stub
And
just falling
then
into your lap.
oh no, an avalanche, squigalanche. But I also have Night Hunt, which I also have about 1,000 points, so which is very nice. And then that's all my
Unusual
Sigma.
base rooms.
Unusual business. I do white base rims,
Psychopathic, if you ask me. Wrongin'.
but
Lock her
I
up.
think it looks really good.
It does.
On the Night Hunt it does, because they're very like cool colours.
Tasty. Like,
Yeah,
They look like they're floating.
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah. When I put them on a piece of kitchen
I
roll
feel
to
like-
dry, they do.
It's a white. It's quite. We were warning against it. We were like,
Yeah.
I did
maybe
it
not.
anyway.
It's a risky play. It's a ballsy play.
Yeah,
You
I was
guys
gonna say it
pressured
worked.
me
It
to
worked.
finally paint my base rims, and I went, you know what? Fuck you, I'm doing them white.
But they look better with them painted.
They look good. They look fucking
Yeah.
good.
Painted base rooms are the way to go.
And then 40k, I have 1,000 points of Gene Stealers, and I have about 500 points of Aldari.
It might be less now actually because they've got.
No,
No.
I
It's
checked.
definitely
I
500.
checked today. I checked today.
I was thinking 'cause it's Wraith Lord as well. Yeah, it's
You don't
definitely
really
it.
play them though. You just have them because we were trying to goat
I
you into 40k, like free model at a time. So we gave what, like for 10 quid, you gave the start collecting Aldari set.
Yeah,
I
it's one of
wanna-
the old school ones.
I want to clarify the reason I like to paint Sigma better, and the reason I like to choose, these Xenos is because I don't really like painting people. I don't like that. I like painting creatures. I'm eyeing up a lot of Zinchi stuff right now as well. So the Disciples of Zinch and Thousand Suns as well. I'm eyeing up both of them because like people don't really have their faces out. They're all like. Apparently, I have like a thing for like souls in suits. So I've got like Iandan, Aldari, and that's what it's called, Iandan.
You're
right?
also looking at
Thousand
Thousand Suns,
Suns,
which
like-
are literally just dust in a suit.
Like the Rubric Marines.
And
the
Nighthawns, which are
Scarab
literal
Sims.
ghosts.
Yeah, the Nighthawns are ghosts. The only thing I have that's actually living are the
Squigs.
the squigs and the gene stealers, which are like technically like a virus, really, aren't they? To be fair.
No, they're just a mutation.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
mutants. They're
Yeah.
just a crossbreed.
I love them though. They're my silly little purple guys, and they like to wipe Death God off the board. Apparently.
We should get Space Hulk. That's
No.
Gene Stealers. It's a little board game that you used to be able to get, and it's
No.
just Gene Stealers for Terminators.
No.
It's pretty
It's
cool.
amazing. It's amazing. You can lock doors and stuff. It's literally
Oh,
playing
that's cool.
Alien.
Yeah.
It is. It's not like a 40k
There is
game.
there is an alien board game, but
I've got it.
well, you just have things.
Oh wait, no.
Oh,
I have Nemesis.
Alex, let's make a point. Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, I've got Morannon Orcs and Rohirrim, and I also have some old elves and Urukai Siege Squad.
You got any like Kill Team, Blood Bowl, anything like that?
Yeah, I've got Blood Bowl. I've got a human and orc Blood Bowl team, but I really have a halfling team.
You have everything. You actually have
I
everything.
dragged my dad
Yeah.
into a travelling man one time because there's travelling mans all over the place. But I dragged him into a travelling man, and I was like, "Yeah, this is like the Warhammer section of this shop." And he looked down and he was like, "Oh my god, they still do Blood Bowl!" And I was like, "Yeah, mate, they still do Blood Bowl." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know they still play Blood Bowl. I used to play that when I was younger."
Blood Bowl is. I actually managed to get my mum playing Blood Bowl in COVID, and it's one of, in my opinion, I think it's one of the most fun 40k, not 40k, but Games Workshop style games you can really play because it is just so. It's like you play
I always
chess
look at
almost.
that dungeon one. I can't remember what it's
Is that
called though.
not Warcry?
Necromunda.
No, it's not Necromunda either.
Oh, I
it's
want to play
Sigma.
Necromunda though.
Is it? I can't remember what it's called.
Awesome.
Like
It's
Word
called like
Hallow or
Haunted
something.
Cities or something.
Oh.
Cursed City.
Yes, that's a role playing game.
Yeah.
There's
so
a
is
couple of them.
Necromunda.
There's a 40k version as well, Blackstone Fortress, that looks
Yeah,
awesome.
I really want to play Necromunda, but you guys don't want to get into it because it's expensive to buy the starter set.
Yeah, because you need to get quite a lot to start with. That's
It's
it. Once you
so
have it, it's
fun.
done.
I just want to. It's like role playing,
Like you just love D&D.
but it's also like much more like individual like characters that are actually important, and you forge these stories.
Yeah.
I have I want to pose the same question to Jack as well about what armies you have.
Oh,
Start with Sigma maybe. You just got
no.
Sigma.
Well, yeah, we'll get Sigma out of the way. Sigma, I have Sylvaneth.
Lots of Sylvaneth, lots of little tree
That's
guys.
it. I don't have any other.
Oh wait, is that all you have with Sigma?
I only have
What?
Sylvaneth. I have a lot of Sylvaneth though.
No.
I got the Christmas box
no.
a year a bit ago.
Nuh-uh. You have quite a bit of Maggot of Nurgle as well.
I don't have like any maggot.
No, you do,
I have
you've
a,
got
I have a
those
few
sliding.
models. Yeah,
You got the Snotlings.
I got the
Snarling.
Nurglings. I got a Beast Nurgle because I love puppy.
And you
Okay,
have what we call Henry.
Henry as well. He's like the Blight King or the Blight Lord. Like
And we
King.
called
It's
him
pretty
Henry because we thought it was
cool.
funny.
Just a Henry. I need to paint him. He's gonna get painted
He's
soon.
been
I was gonna say, I
grey
don't
for
think I
like
saw
a
it.
year.
Wait, which one?
It's just
Which
like one of
one's
those
that, Maggot
individual ones
Yeah.
you can buy.
with an axe. Big
Oh,
axe.
yeah,
Individual,
yeah.
like,
And he's
yeah,
got like his
yeah.
helmet looks really squished onto his head.
It's a cool model. I have
It's
those.
nice.
I wouldn't say that's an army though. Those are more just
No,
like
but
I don't collect them for an army. I collect them because I like Nurgle more than anything. Because I like Death Guard, and it's kind of like a spillover.
You collect them because I buy them for you.
That too.
It goes well with your Death Guard
I
army
really
as well.
wanted
You've been playing them with
to
your Death Guard.
Get the Harbinger guy, the guy with the big sickle on the back of the zombie horse and the
Oh.
shroud. I really like that model, and I want
It's
to get
such
that.
an old school
I was-
skull, but it's
I
beautiful.
was going to buy that because it came out in a special box, special release box for them, like 60 quid, and it's like it's like a Dawnbringer box or something. I think it's called. But I missed the chance, and now it's
Yeah.
it's never gonna come back.
Oh, Jack,
Yeah,
you
they do,
also
yeah.
have a Demon Prince.
Yeah, but that's not sick. That's not
that you
sick. Man.
pitted Nurgly.
It hypothetically could be used in like slaves to die.
Listen,
did build
listen.
the-
It's
yeah.
sold in
Yeah.
the Sigma section. It's sold in the Sigma section.
Yeah, but more importantly, 40k. What I really care about, I started with Ultramarines from Assault on Blackreach. No, I don't care what people say. Originally, you think Ultramarines is the best, then you think you know what you're talking about, and you say they're the worst, and then you actually learn the lore, and you're like, no,
Yeah,
they're
they
actually
are the
sick
best.
as hell. They're so cool.
They're so autistic.
They are. They're me.
Yeah.
They're literally me. They love an Excel spreadsheet.
The Ultramarines are just weaponized autism.
Yeah, I have
And also
orcs. I have old school orcs. I have nids. I have a lot of nids. I have a box, just one little box of Pathfinder Tau, hidden away at home. What else do I have? I have a lot of chaos. Let's get to chaos. I have Death Guard, Chaos Knights. That's about all the chaos I have. But if you saw the shelves that they
You
take
have a
up.
lot of each of those,
you
yeah.
didn't say Blood Angels, right?
No, not yet. And then right now, probably my biggest army entirely is Blood Angels.
It's a shelf of red.
I think it's about 3,500 to 4,000 points now. Of Blood
think it
Angels,
was. I remember
maybe
writing
more.
that.
I
It was
can get it.
pretty
I can.
mental.
Well, it'll take me 10 minutes to put the list together.
Ooh,
But-
do you know what one of my favourite models of yours is?
Mine,
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you know that poxwalker that you painted, like a minion?
I did. I have so many Poxwalkers, and one of them in the hazmat suit. So I painted yellow and blue, like blue overalls, and like yellow like skin. It looks like a silly little minion with his goggles.
It's a good model. It's really funny.
Yeah.
You thought I was going to say something like deep and impressive, than like you're Gilliman or something, but I was like,
Dante,
no.
I was hoping for.
Dante.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
minion
I like chaos, to be honest. Chaos is my home. I feel like it's a more interesting and more varied Imperium.
Spiky.
You still get the I am a superhuman, but I also can cast diseases you've never heard of on you, and I make you into a zombie. And I've got a mutant like flying drone behind me that's spewing acid on you.
Also, if
I
you're
cast the
Chaos
common cold.
I cast
Damn you.
AIDS.
for the
Space
For
AIDS.
the audio listeners, me and Jack are like wiggling our fingers at Alex and being like, I cast this.
I can confirm it does feel like I have AIDS right now.
Oh, that might have just been me from earlier. But
That might just be the
For our audio listeners, I am sitting on a pillow right now.
you know what?
Yeah, you're right.
I've got something we should talk about though. Another topic.
Yeah.
Those players. Bad experiences
You're-
playing the game because me and Alex love to play and we've played quite a lot.
Yeah.
Neve, you're much newer.
Yeah. And I like to rage
40K.
quit when
and
I'm not winning.
Neve is one of those players and will leave if you kill anything.
I just do the opposite.
No,
rage quit
no,
army.
I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. No, but when you said those players, I'm immediately thinking of two people. So
Who?
I can't.
Whisper. Don't. Say it and we'll cut it out.
A certain Tau player that
Yeah.
you're friends with, and a certain Grey Knights player that we've played.
Well, no, I like them as people. I don't like them as players. I think we can all agree there. There's just some encounters. I was just trying to play a game as Death Guard,
There's some games that are rough.
and there's
You
this
get
Tau
to-
player in 8th, and we're playing objectives. We've discussed how the objectives are going to work. We're like, right, so there's 5 objectives. Okay, you have 1 in your deployment. You have 3 no man's zone and 1 in your enemy's deployment. They're each worth like 5 victory points. Simple, okay. He didn't leave his deployment zone.
Yeah.
It went on for 5 rounds. I'm playing Death Guard. I move 4 inches a turn, 5 inches a turn. I can't get to his side of the board that quickly.
So he's just gunning you down.
He's gunning me down as I do it. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. So I hid my stuff on the objectives. I have 4 objectives. He has 1. And he told me that I'm playing like a camper. And I've never felt more infuriated before.
He did a really similar thing when we played that 2v2 game as well. We played a 2v2 game where it was Tau and a very nice Necrons player
Lovely Necrons player.
versus me and Jack
Necron player's always
playing. I was playing Jack's Death Guard and you were playing your Chaos Knights.
Yeah.
And we were there for a long time and we won.
It takes so... I feel like you got to think of what you're going to do in your opponents. This is another thing. This is a rant, okay?
Yeah.
Shut up, okay? So,
Yeah, shut the fuck up, audio listeners. You...
for the audio listeners, me and Alex are looking at each other. Anyway.
I'm literally bricked up right now.
So, no, but it's the thing where, like, people take, like, 40 minutes to take... Because we didn't have a timer for turns. They take 40 minutes to take their turn. or well, 40 minutes just to think when their turn starts. They don't do any thinking while you're doing your moves.
Like looking
Which-
at stratagems,
that's
you're
the thing.
pre-reading abilities,
Alex,
you're thinking.
when I play you, Alex, when I know what I'm going to do the second my turn starts, because
Yeah.
I've seen what you've done and I've thought what I'm going to do to counter it.
You've
These
read your
people
stratagems up to counter
sit
it,
there
right?
just like drooling on the board.
Yeah.
They rules lawyer everything you do as well. I'm like, oh, Death Guard, I got lethal hit. So it used to be, plague weapon, so I reroll ones or
yeah.
something on like hits. And he was like, no, show me the rule. I'm like, oh, yeah.
I never think it's bad asking about abilities and rules and stuff.
But
I don't like it when it gets aggressive, when
This
it's like,
was
oh,
like
no, you're definitely...
so
like,
this
yeah.
was before the app.
One of the only
Codex,
posters ever cheated, though.
and well, I've had some moments, but it's like when they release these like updates which aren't in the codex, you have to go find like an obscure article on their website where you've seen where you like it's from,
And it's just agony.
and then you just grab out the wording and you're like, oh, I can't do it.
I have another issue with sort of like rules sticklers. Like, I'll admit I am a bit of a bad player, and I'm a very bad loser, and if I'm losing, I will not want to play and I will not have fun.
Oh yeah.
I'm very, very...
Chaos Knights round 1. Need
Right,
we say
okay.
anymore?
Okay.
That's what Chaos Knight game.
No, that
So-
was mean on my part.
So when I like fluff up a rule there, I will just be like, oh well, I'll just remember next time round. Because often I will fluff up a rule in my favour, to be honest. And like that time I was playing your Necrons and I like bombed a whole squad.
I almost
with my
cried
Discus.
when I saw one Necro left and I knew it wasn't making a resurrection
Yeah.
save.
No, but anyway, that was my fault. But I've also like messed up rules where it's like not worked in my favour. Like it's fine. It's when people or a person realizes they've messed up their rules and then wants to restart the entire phase.
Oh my god! This moment. This was me playing an unfortunate Grey Knights player who we know. There was some rule about my Dreadnought. It was my Dreadnought. I told it. This was, I think, the 3rd round. I told him in round 2. He started shooting it. I was like, it's -1 to the damage. So a lot of his weapons went down to 1 damage, and he'd basically shoot with like his high tank stuff. And of course, it didn't do much, like at all. This was at the start of 10th. I kept like spamming him with like armor content or whatever. So it was some stratagem to make it even tougher, and he wasn't really making a dent at all. He forgot.
Armor contempt.
He takes about an hour to move 5 models in his turn. We come back round to his turn after my turn. He shoots it again, and I'm like, that's -1 to damage. Because I already assumed he'd remembered, because it happened last round. He did all the shooting. I was like, right, so what's the damage on that roll or whatever? And he's like, oh, it's like 8 damage or something. I'm like, so -1 each of those, takes it down. He's like, what? What? I didn't know that. If you told me that, then I wouldn't have done it. Then he made me restart the entire round back to the start so he could redo it all. And I've never felt like fury like that, because I was like, guys, this isn't fair. I literally got you two to come like rules lawyer for me.
Yeah.
It
To be like,
happens
look, if you make a
frequently.
mistake, you make a mistake. You've got to play it through.
Yeah, because it's just
It-
quicker for the game. 'Cause again, replaying turns just
We were
doesn't feel
4 or 5
genuine.
hours into it. What should have been a 2-hour game at that point, and I was losing
It was
patience
literally
as
like
well.
a 1,000-point game.
It was
wasn't
1,000 points. I'm just like, oh, just get it over with. He lost anyway. There was no coming back, and it was just, I kind of want to get it over with, I think.
When it gets to the point where you can see yourself obviously losing, like when I get to that point, I generally don't care as much about rules. Like I know I back off my rules a little bit, and I go like, I just want to get some cool character kills.
Yeah.
I want to get some cinematic moments.
Cool
now.
moments.
You refuse to play secondaries.
I don't anymore, to be fair.
And you
I
also
for the
You
last
refuse
few
played a
games I've
secondary,
played them.
and you won by 1 victory point on them,
Yeah.
and now you're sold.
They are fun because like it is fun winning and stuff like, because you can't always just go around the game having cool duels and shit like that. You need to actually.
But you can.
it's fun to
Secondaries
play.
encourage it a lot of the time as well.
They do, because I remember getting those slay the monster ones, and you're
Yeah.
just praying for all your attacks to go through, and there's one big vehicle, and
No, I
it's
haven't.
quite addictive. It's quite
Yeah.
addictive.
What about you? Had any bad player experiences?
I wouldn't say. I don't know. I like. You always get. I think that the main thing is I've never had any that are negative. Just occasionally irritating and stuff.
Yeah.
I would never say like entirely negative. I'd always say I think there's been a few times where it's just not been fun in the hobby. So I remember 6th edition moment of Gaskell Thacker getting 1-turned by a standard Space Marine captain, which is just fucking bullshit rules.
Yeah.
This is Gaskell Thacker.
But that was a game issue, not a
Fuck
person
up.
issue.
But
No,
I
exactly,
kind of agree with
exactly.
what you're saying though. I think not a lot of times I've actually just been like, oh, whatever. But I actually hate
Like
the
I've
game.
never
But
had a
it's like,
nasty player.
I've never
like,
had
yeah.
I've never had an actual like nasty player.
Because you hear the tournament horror stories, and some people just generally sound unbelievable.
It's people who make the game unfun because they refuse to play anything but their way.
Yeah.
And it's in a casual, friendly game all the time, and you're like, we're here to have fun, not to camp at the back and shoot all of the slow-moving infantry that I can't do anything about.
What you talk about? That's not fun, man. I love just constantly measuring gun distances, then not needing to because I know you're going to be in range anyway. So as long as I can see you, I can shoot you.
Yeah.
I like to.
But then not actually contesting the point, so you know the game's lost from round one anyway, and you're just like, ah.
I like to be 6 inches away, but measure out the 36-inch firing range just to be sure.
So with my
It's
Chaos
always a
Knight.
sort of flex. You're just like, oh, am I in range? Oh yeah, I forgot this board.
It's me an engagement. Oh, am I within 72 inches? Just about.
I think one of my worst hobby experiences was, again, not a player thing. Failing a 6-inch charge twice was pretty goddamn awful.
Jack?
That was
It's happened multiple
my
times.
score peg destroys. I was like, oh, 6 inches, sick, 2 1s. Command point reroll, bam. Got 3. Fuck.
That was like for the game as well.
That was my last ditch. I was like, if I do this, I might
have
not
a
just
hope.
lose.
Yeah.
I could pull it back. They died. I was like, so I have like 2 scarabs left because the warriors got gunned down by the squad that didn't get into combat with the squad pack.
Yeah.
That was so damn. I was like, oh man.
I ruined you a couple of times, when we played because you always underestimate Death Guard.
Death Guard are one of it's kind of like the gene stealers. I don't get how to play against them. You go to play and like I keep like I can kind of understand, but with the armyless Irons, I also run very elite heavy.
God,
You make
I-
elite. You make like very melee tough guys.
Yeah,
Then you
I
charge
love
them
it.
into like my Death Guard Terminators,
Just
and
get
it's a different world.
I'm like 500 points always.
I don't understand how to play against things that have sticky objectives.
Oh, the entire everything in Death Guard has it.
Speed.
It's so
You basically just
nasty.
need speed and cut them off.
You need
take
a
it
lot
and
of
it's
small
like, yeah.
units to block
To be
up
fair,
their
actually-
units and then get around them.
Gene Stealers actually would be pretty good at it
Oh, yeah.
if I just actually read and used stratagems, because they have a stratagem where you can just like deep strike 3 inches away from models instead of 9.
But that's not even the problem with sticky objectives, because when I play, I just don't leave anything on my objectives. You might have some nurglings screening somewhere. Or like a
Nurglings
bloke
aren't
drone that
objectives,
can move
though.
around in the back fast or something, but you're not there's no threat. You can deep strike straight onto the objectives.
The
You can even walk
The
onto them.
Nurglings died. They got one turned.
Yeah, but that was a 500-point blob of aberrants.
Yeah, it was. I love my 500-point blob of aberrants. Where
Kills
they
a
also
45-point unit.
They also
like,
have that leader that I can never get the name of
abhorrent.
right. It's not
No,
abhorrent,
abominant.
abominant, and he gives them all like sustained hits one.
Did you guys also just think of Abominable Snowman when you think that? You just think of a big hairy fucking
I
Wookiee.
thought of someone having a stroke thinking about it. Like, 'cause he's got like 2 faces merged and one's
does
like
have
up,
2
one's
faces
down.
It's the gas tap in the ceiling.
What?
There's literally. I keep looking at it. I'm just
What?
realising.
There's
it's
one in my
podcast.
room too.
Why is there a
Do you have,
gas
like-
tap in my ceiling?
Why the only person doesn't have a gas? Oh, if you're left out.
What is a gas tap?
What's the gas tap for?
I don't know.
Anyway, so yeah, we're in a funky little student flat, but
Yeah, sorry, that was a bit
Yeah.
off topic. I just realised I was like, oh, that looks a bit dangerous.
You were talking about Warhammer and you something like, hey, with a gas tap. I'm like, huh? I thought you were on about. Oh,
You can tell I'm very
it
stupid.
made me think of the Teletubbies. They have the big horn or something.
It just sucks you up. Like.
Yeah, I'm just.
Speaking of Teletubbies, Space Marine. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
What-
I had something else. It's like your most memorable positive sort of hobby experience.
Slamming you into the ground for the 100th time.
I think my favourite was when Table Flip got moved down to 1 command point.
No, so my favourite was is that your model and then snapping it in 2.
I really like getting a big greasy box of Chicken Shack, devouring it, licking my fingers clean, and then picking up my opponent's freshly painted model and just caressing it.
It's when someone puts their fresh model they're super proud of painted on and you beam it straight off the board.
I have
Put
this
that
Land
back on the
Raider.
shelf.
I've tried to use this Land Raider for 2 games. It's died like turn 1, turn 2.
Instantly.
Because I'd be like, it's a Land Raider. It's not going to die. It doesn't need fucking cover. Bam, dead. Shit.
Do you know-
Belial, precision, dead.
Do you know what my favourite hobby experience has been?
What?
In this one time at Warhammer World.
Oh man.
I took Jack on a little trip to Warhammer World. So Alex is not involved in this.
For my birthday.
For Jack's
I
birthday
feel
last
left
year, we went to Warhammer World, the most magical place in Nottingham. and Alex is really jealous, and we're probably gonna go again at some point and take Alex, and he can sleep on the dog bed in the hotel room or something.
I'm the
Nah,
autistic
you
child.
can sleep on
I'll
the
sleep
bed.
on the
Me and
dog
Alex
bed.
are sleeping together.
Oh.
I'll sleep
Gotta
on the
stay
weird
warm.
cook chair in the corner.
No, can we get one of those little, when you ask a Premier Inn for an extra bed in the room, and they give you the most brick fucking hard they can't take bed,
Yeah.
and you're the kids are running, you just jump on it, every bone in your back just shatters into pieces.
It's like Mortal Kombat.
You wake up with concussion the next day,
Yeah.
your pupils just massive.
Yeah, but we went to Warhammer World, and that's been my most enjoyable hobby experience. And that is the first time I've ever met a nasty Warhammer player as well.
Oh my!
Oh.
No,
So-
he wasn't even a Warhammer player. He was this wretched, greasy rat of an older brother. No. Honestly, I don't want to be mean, but I've never seen someone who I think would be more misogynistic and more hateful to every other minority in the world than this guy.
Can I tell the story?
Yeah, go on. I'm actually enraged.
So
I'm
me
moulding.
and Jack were in line. We'd bought a couple things because we wanted to buy the diorama book so we could have memories and stuff, and also some models. And there was this
Got it.
mum and kid who was probably about 7 or 8, stood behind us, and he had a Grey Knight set in his hands, I think it was just a combat patrol or something.
Yeah, it was Grey Knight's Combat Patrol.
And his mum and him were talking about silver spray paint, or metallic silver spray paint, and they couldn't find it, and they picked up Grey Seer. And I was like, I've got to help. I've got to be that guy. And I turned around and I was like, oh, you're looking for silver? You should get Lead Belcher. We have a friend who plays Grey Knights. This is what he uses. And she was like, oh, thank you so much. And they were really happy about it because she was like, oh, I would have had no idea. And then this older brother who's probably 14, thinks he's hard as nails, comes over and he's like, oh no, I've already got that. They said to get silver.
Bro, look 45. Oh my god.
I remember turning around and the mum just kind of looked at me just defeated, and I felt so bad. I was like,
It was a look of I'm sorry about him, looking at us.
it was just like a
a
little
28-year-old who's not
shrug.
left
What?
the basement.
No. He was definitely 16, but he had I don't want to fat shame and actually fully body shame, but this guy was a 3 out of 10. He needs to have a shower kind of stuff.
Welcome to Guzzlers. We will rate your children horribly.
No, but it's I think he just.
No, he was old enough to be bitched out.
But
That's
he
fair
was
enough,
he was
that's
actually
fair
just being spiteful to his younger brother, and his
Yeah.
it was his youngest brother's birthday, right? And he's 7 years old.
Oh my god.
And we'd oh, you want shiny silver? He's yeah, this is the
No,
paint to do.
It was definitely a jealous older brother who's I'm annoyed that my little sibling's
Yeah.
getting into the same hobby as me, and it's just let the kid have his fun.
Do you think it was also the thing where they're maybe they're not into the hobby, they're oh, this is weird, even though they secretly like it, and that's
No,
why
no, I don't
he was
think he was
definitely
into
into it.
no, I don't think he was
Do you not
into it
think
at
so?
all. No,
So he probably is that.
he didn't know what he was
wanting-
talking about.
They want to get into
Yeah.
it, but they're
I
oh,
think
I
he
don't want to.
wishes
Yeah.
he could
I don't
have
want to be
this.
nerdy.
And, yeah, he's no, he was nerdy, but he's
Oh,
a StarCraft
Not one
2
of us,
player
yeah.
kind of stuff, and he's
Oh,
I don't like it when blah blah
I just want to
blah.
watch Sailor Moon and masturbate.
on the day we went
Pretty
into
much.
on the day we went into Warhammer World as well, there was Horus Heresy tournaments going on.
Oh,
So we saw a lot of. We didn't want to intrude on the game
Horus
hall.
Heresy armies are beautiful because they're always kit bashed heavily.
We didn't want to intrude on the game hall, but I was pleasantly surprised by the amount of women and children I saw.
It's a really good place.
It's really family friendly as well. There was
Warhammer's
lots
much
of people
improved.
with their kids.
Bugman's Bar.
Bugman's as well. There was babies in Bugman's bar. The people brought their babies.
Already drinking pints. We've got 4
it
beers.
was full of old men bringing their wives who look so uninterested, but the bloke's this is my one day of the year and I am living the dream.
I'm pretty sure there was some middle-aged guy with his mum there.
I
Do you
respect
remember
that.
there was a middle-aged guy, an older lady?
There was a single dad there with
Two
three
kids,
kids to three kids. He's just sitting there and he's mate, I'm here on my day off. They
Do you know they have kiddies colouring as well? You can colour in a Stormcaster Turtle.
What kids would love, as a
Need to
kid,
love that.
I don't know a single child, from the ages of, fucking, what was it, 3 when you're conscious somewhat, 16, who if you said, do you want to go to a massive warehouse and look at tiny plastic toys fighting each other and you can get a pint and a colouring book? Who would say no? You're just yes.
I remember
The only downside is you got to be in Nottingham.
it
That would make me say no.
Yeah.
wasn't that bad.
You did get stabbed.
No, I didn't get stabbed. We took an Uber because it was raining.
That's good. That's good. You guys avoid the mean streets.
Yeah.
The mean streets of Nottingham, the 10-minute walk it would have taken us to get to Warhammer World from our hotel.
Bit of a magical place though, to
It
be
is.
honest.
I'll tell you
It's like
what,
Blackpool.
they know what they're They know what they're doing with the lighting in the room where they like hide the the assassin.
Yeah.
Because there's the room where you've got to try and find the assassin in the huge diorama that's like 2 stories tall.
Supposedly there's 4 assassins in there.
4.
What?
Yeah, all at once, and then they removed them if it's been found.
The last time one was found was 7 years ago, though, according to the website.
No, that was.
Was
I
it
think that's
closer?
just now. I think
Was it
people
just
find
out
them
there?
very like routinely, like once a week, once every 2 weeks.
I swear we asked the guys at our local games workshop and one of them found it once.
No, none of them have ever.
I swear
No,
they showed us a
no,
photo.
he showed us. Basically, he had a mate that worked at Warhammer
Oh, and
World,
found it, yeah.
and who was like, "This is where I've hidden it," and it was like genuinely like unfindable.
It's like you need to have like your gamma up, like you need
But
it to be super
you're
bright.
not
But
allowed to use lights in
no
that room.
lights. The lights up top rotate where they're coming from,
And they
so the
change
shadows
colour as
always
well.
change.
So you just
It
look for a
changes
glimpse.
hues. It change. You'll. Like, it's
They're
nuts.
usually going between like blue, red, and purple as well, which is like really hard to see, especially when it's a sea of like, isn't it like, what is it? Is it like
Ultramarines and corn.
yeah,
like,
corn?
Oh, that's
Stuff,
pretty cool.
Demons.
I have to admit, I think
Chaos.
with the prize just being the assassin you spot, and that's a really cool prize, but Games Workshop's such a rich company, would it be much better to just be like,
Titan.
you could, no, I say like a gift voucher up to
Wall.
100 quid in the store.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
no one finds them. It's not like they're really going to lose any
I
money.
like that they've done the assassin because assassins aren't something a lot of people buy. It's more of
Yeah.
like it's something cool, especially if
also
you find it,
because-
it's like I have this assassin now.
It's also because the models are like actually quite hard to see. They are usually really dark colours. They're usually
all in
black.
black, yeah.
Yeah, so
Black
it is
lycra.
hard to find. You're not allowed to use like light in that room at all. Like
They won't catch you off it unless
No,
you're doing
they
like
probably
an
won't. People
Well, no,
were-
'cause I swear they do review the footage if you find it, because they make you go back and point, and if they also see that you've been using a torch to find it, they probably just wouldn't give you the model.
I
Games
th- I
Workshop
think
feels
as-
like that kind of company.
Yeah, but if you're just using, there are people there who go in with proper full cameras, like zoom lenses and
Yeah.
stuff, and like headlights and stuff. And I'm just like, mate, there are fucking 3-year-olds trying to look for this thing. Like, it's casual.
there was
chill.
literally a little kid being like, "Why can't he just be like on the edge there or something?" And his mum was like, "Because then it wouldn't be a challenge, would it?" There was so many kids, but it was like they were really respectful kids. They weren't like running around being
What the kids always are.
Yeah.
because they're just excited
We're
about
still
seeing
a bit-
everything.
We've all got a bit of a tism, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like,
I'm joking.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Literally proof right there.
I'm joking.
Anthony, you want to talk about Alex?
I'm pretty content, but I do like to. I always like talking about my painting and not just
We
painting
literally
in general.
haven't even
Yeah.
gone on to the painting.
We
this one.
haven't. I've just been realizing that. I've been like, I normally can't resist talking about how much I like different model sculpts and stuff. Like, I just got some Dire Avengers today.
You're one of those
Oh.
like psychotic people who like scrapes all the mold lines.
That
or-
is standard. You guys
No,
are
no,
like,
no. Mold lines are a
anxiety-inducing.
psyop. Mold lines are a psyop. I've never seen a
Oh.
mold line, and I have bought thousands of pounds of Warhammer.
What is a mold line?
Yeah, what is a mold line? Tell us.
Go get one. Go get that spruce
Yeah,
in
yeah,
your room.
no,
and show me
no,
your
shall.
mold.
don't
No.
leave the room because Big Warhammer will call you to give you a. No, sit here.
No, I'm getting my Dire Avengers because this
No,
is an old kid.
He's got Big Warhammer's telling him to go get the fucking sheet. Read from it.
I told him
Sit
to
here.
do shit. I'm not Big Warhammer.
Sit
No.
here and tell me what a mold line is.
I will drop my trousers right now.
do
and
not.
expose you.
No.
It's like that magic guy.
Oh no.
Which magic guy?
The one where it's like most magicians risk their life, but I'll be risking something worse, getting on the sex offenders registry. There
Don't
was
need
a-
to risk that. But anyways,
Yeah, what the fuck is a mold line?
So it's like when the sprues get pressed together, you put the molding in, and a
Mm.
bit of the molding cast overflows into this little crevice because the sprues are two halves, so you push together, so it actually overflows a bit, and you have to scrape it off. The new sculpts, admittedly, they're nowhere near as
Oh.
bad. Yeah,
So,
you
like
can
that
literally
on
see
the
it.
edge of there.
Yeah.
For the
I have
audio
a
listeners,
sprue.
we do have a
The-
sprue here.
The new sculpts,
See
though,
that
the new
there's
sculpts,
like
they've
a-
hidden
It's
them.
hard to see in this light, but there's some on the edge.
So that's why they
But,
break
like,
them into
I-
so many parts, and well, also posability. But like, if you break into so many parts, you
There's
literally
lines.
can like
But, like, I'm not that bothered about it.
No,
get them all.
I refuse. That's not mold line. That was placed.
You're
That's,
one of-
no, that's placed. That's
What do you
that's
mean
You
that's
definitely
different?
believe the ice wall doesn't exist. You're one of those fucking round earthers, aren't you?
Bro, I built the ice wall. Okay.
Oh, fair enough.
My
okay.
freezer last year, I was chopping ice blocks out of it.
We can all agree we're stupid. We're not like really stupid. We all know the Earth's flat here. Come on, guys. Hashtag flat Earth.
No, I'm a
gonna be
star
the tag on
Earth.
the next
It's
reel.
star Earth. It's a star shape.
No, it's a donut.
You got the
It's a
five.
donut.
No, you got the 5 points. Okay. You got London, Paris,
No.
America.
I'm sorry. If it had
India
points, how the
and
fuck do the elephants
Antarctica.
rotate it?
Because there's like a ring on the outside of the points, which is like a cog. Like it's got
boys,
teeth.
Oh,
boys,
right.
spin it.
Okay.
boys,
Okay.
boys.
This is
Gentlemen,
fantasy.
gentlemen. I think you need a well-earned piss break.
I'm actually okay. I'm fine.
I meant
alright.
just.
You know what, fan?
I meant just to cool down, honestly, more than anything. You started talking about flat
I'm
Earth.
gonna go beat me shit crazy style for a bit. I'll be right back.
Oh well, I guess I'm gonna go piss in the sink then.
Want to beat each other?
Hey yo!
Oh God, careful! Don't
Shut it!
Don't destroy my room. Don't destroy my room. Where? So as I do, as the boys go for their mid-podcast urination, let's have a little chat about paint and flavouring, sampling, consuming paint. Paints that take me to Flavour Town, you know. Feeling like Guy Fieri on those paints. Just cutting the palate, cutting the tongue, really savouring the flavours, getting it to cover all 9,000 taste buds. Oh, I'm gonna cut that noise out. I think that made me cringe, and I'm not even listening to it back yet. Alex has been painting some Aldari, and he's been blending, and he's been wet blending, and something he did was put like blue ink in water, because he's blending blue and green. Don't hate me, I can't remember what the like style he's doing, but I was like, I'll do a shot of that. Nobody asked me to. I just grabbed the shot glass off the shelf and filled it up. Not a full shot, to be clear, like it was like a half shot. Got my little frosted Jaeger shot glass out, which I don't drink from because I can't drink Jaeger anymore for unspecified reasons. But yeah, I just filled it up a little bit, took a little sip, and I was like, oh, I could throw the rest of that back. And it was after this point I decided to ask Alex, oh hey, is that ink toxic, by the way? I mean, even if it was probably diluted enough that it doesn't matter. But it didn't taste like much. It just tasted like watered down paint, which is about normal. A little chalky. Like, ink is usually a bit thicker, so it's usually a bit more, you know, like flavourful, at least, or at least, like, coats the tongue a little better. But it's not sort of, like, I don't find it has that, like, intense of a flavour. Like, it's thick. It's more of a textural experience, and when you've watered it down, the textural experience isn't fully there. Because, like, you want the stickiness and the kind of, like, almost chewiness of it. Like, you probably don't get the chewiness because you're probably not gonna like eat enough of it at once to get the chewiness, but I feel like if you got enough and you let it just like dry out a little bit, it'd be a really nice like sensory sort of chewing experience. Because it is goopy, ink is thick. But yeah, anyway, his models look beautiful as well, like the ones that he's wet blended. They're very, very nice. It's not something that I would ever have the patience to do. I understand painting multiple colours, yes, very beautiful, but a lot of very fine detail and a lot of sort of wet blending is not for me. I'm a big fan of models that you can just dip in contrast or that you can just paint all one colour. Which begs the question, why am I painting Gene Stealers? They're a little bit more complex, but you know, they're still not that complex. It's just a lot of contrast. Squigs, on the Squigs, you can just, like, dunk them in, like, I think it was either Blood Angels Red or Memphiston Red. Is Blood Angels Red even a paint colour? It might have been Memphiston Red. I know one's a little bit less dark, a little bit more bright. And I think I used the slightly brighter one. And then proceeded to Agrax it, so, like, what's the point? But, hello! Welcome back.
I actually had an otherworldly piss in the sink.
Can you stop peeing in the sink, please? Are you coming to prove there's mould lines?
I just wanted to look at these because this is another comment I wanted to talk about with the Warhammer. So, this is a box of Dire Avengers I have before me. Now, I want to comment about kit nostalgia. Because this kit, which for our audio listeners, is a very spacious, very poorly designed kit.
Poorly optimised.
And can I just say that I prefer this? And I think, I you know what? The new sculpt's way better. Everything, I admit, all the new's way better. I'm not one of those old school, grey-bearded gatekeepers. Even the most grey-beards aren't actually gatekeepers. I really love you guys. But, like, I don't know. There's something about a nice,
Bro's
simple
mewing
kit.
so fucking hard and his little head.
Oh, you don't build the guy with the head out because the Eldar do hit that. That's a very bad. That's a very poorly sculpted.
Let me see.
It's all angle. It's just all angle.
Oh my god, he's mewing on us right now.
I can see why the box art is just chose all helmets, because if I saw that as a head and went like, I can do that sick ass helmet or whatever the hell that is, I think I know what I'm choosing each time.
That's getting put on a spike on my Chaos Rhino.
Oh, I want
put a spike on my Wraith Knight.
Before we continue about painting, there's just something I wanted to mention as well. Is just experience in just local Warhammer shops.
Our local shop is otherworldly.
Yeah,
we are known there. They love us. They ask us how life's going. They ask us what we're doing.
Because we do live in an area where the best local gaming shop to go to is a Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Like, there's not Travelling Man's the only alternative, and that's not really great because there's not the community there. There's not the same spirit and everything.
The guys at our local Warhammer shop actually are like, they know us by name. They literally ask me about how my like job applications are going, how uni's going.
Didn't you walk in today to pick that up and they were like, oh, I think I have a package for you before you even like send me
instantly. I was like, oh my goodness.
That's so funny.
It is.
We love them. We actually love them.
One time we went in just to nip in, and one of them just like was just telling us about his like 7 siblings.
Yeah, because they just like.
But we were so enthralled.
Talking.
That's something I love about the Warhammer shop. You go in and you don't always just talk about Warhammer. You just learn about someone's life.
I think
you just talk.
I don't know if it's just us, but I feel like we walk in, they feel a bit relieved because they don't have to deal with, like, I'm sure the rest of them are lovely, but I think for us we're not just customers.
You're the normal customers.
We are just like we all buy a lot, but also on top of that,
I like supporting them because it's just such a good shop.
We just go in there, we just talk about the hobby with them and ask about the lore, ask about like quite detailed stuff, and they love to talk about it instead of just buy this combat patrol.
Yeah, oh man.
You need red for Blood Angels.
Didn't you have like all 3 of them behind the counter today talking about like the paint scheme for your Aldari?
Oh, and because I was asking about water effect, because I've never done water before, but Jack's done some pretty sick
I've done some slime, like some proper I've done a Garden of Nurgle theme for my my cool. Death Garden like Chaos Knights.
It's fucking disgusting. It's genuinely
so I've got
disgusting.
big green lakes and rivers and like tentacles sticking out.
One of my favourite things about the Warhammer shop is when you're like, oh yeah, I don't know how this paint looks, and they're like, oh yeah, I have a model with that on.
They just literally or the best one is as well. I know I think the manager as well, who just literally pick up a random model at the middle of painting and just start painting that colour on it no matter what. It's like,
or like a base
he does that for me every time. I go and I'm like, I need help with like contrast or this for passes.
Yeah.
He's like, right, these are 5 different options. Let me show you.
It decided my Eldar scheme because I was originally going to go with like some just like all black with orange, which is going to be. I'm so used to painting black. I'm so glad I didn't. And they just showed me this Eldar emerald. I was like, oh my goodness. That's a beautiful green colour. Yeah. I'm going to paint my...
Sorry, what's like your Aldari called? I was talking about it while you were gone. And
my Miri... My Amira.
Is that your like your
Myanmar
faction of
Myanmar? Yeah.
Is that like your sort of like faction of Aldari?
I think they became my favourite Aldari. Like
they look. I really love that colour you have.
I was talking about your wet blending, how you were blending green to blue, and it was really pretty.
That's what made me choose it because I've never done wet blending before or anything like that. So I was like, I just want something I can do it with.
Doing it with ink as well.
I just use all contrast.
What was the ink on the table for then?
I just lied to you that was ink because you got scared that it was poisonous.
Oh yeah, because I took a shot because I thought it was ink water.
No, it was just contrast paint.
Yeah.
That's fine then.
That ink I really wouldn't. I've licked the brush, my tongue's gone numb before.
I wouldn't call my intestines to go numb. That would be.
My Black Templars I paint with the ink.
Yeah, I thought that actually. Why did you have the ink out? What was the point?
I'd have it up with my Templars because I mix it with Black Templar to get a bluey black.
That's fine.
You made an ultramarine. You be honest.
The Judica.
The Judica you painted with Black Templars.
It's so annoying because the helmet looks so fucking cool.
I have a question. What has been your favourite paint project ever?
Eldar. I've absolutely
fallen
in love with my Miria.
Are we saying armies?
Army. What's your favourite army to paint?
Eldar.
And then also your favourite individual paint project.
Eldar East. I think this is the first time I've had an army where I've literally painted one big model and 5 little guys, which is not a lot, but for me, like doing that and still wanting to keep painting more is like massive because I so rarely do.
For me, you know what my like favourite army that I've to paint is?
Yeah.
Have a guess.
Nurgle.
No.
What?
Sylvaneth. There's something
fair.
about my Sylvaneth. I have like a special little way I do it. It's like a barky. They're very dark. They're cold. They got the nice purple leaves, and the bases I absolutely cover in like foliage, and I've fallen in love with them. I look at them. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that's sick. But on for models, my favorite model recently, Typhus. Overall, Typhus, maybe my big Chaos Knight, I'm not super happy with the base. It's a bit like spodgy here and there.
It looks awesome.
It
does look
cool.
incredible.
He made like a bridge out of skewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made a little like floating wooden bridge. I had some Nurglings running around.
It's the most effort I've ever seen put into a base.
I've still got to put in. I bought some like marshland tufts. And I'm gonna put them. They're like a deep greeny, like very dark green into like a deep brown into a reddy around the outside.
The thing I like about your
It's
base
literally called marshland.
It's literally gaming base.
Yeah.
It is literally, because the thing is, I think a lot of bases when the people specialize in, they get really high.
Yeah.
They can almost obstruct the game. So like, first of all, you're denying yourself more cover.
You've
You've
like
got the detail while keeping it like level.
I like to think for myself. I don't go so overboard with like stuff, but I put enough effort in where I make it look good, the base. But I don't add all this stuff and change heights, and I'm not really good at like poses and kit bashing in that sense. So I have to kind of rely on actually making an environment feel good rather than it look like it's a center.
I mean, you've inspired me to get a base because my bases have always just been very boring.
Yeah.
It's just a texture base.
There's something about just the like making a literal like rivers. It's tentacles. Ever since I started putting tentacles in the slime, for
The
my
tentacles on your rhino as well.
yeah. I bought a Chaos Rhino for my Death Guard. I kit bashed it, and one of the back like hatches on the top is open, and there's like tentacles and like hands crawling out,
Where
like
are
something's
the
trying to break
tentacles
through.
from? Are they from your beast of
It's
Prey
from my
book?
puppy. It's from
Yeah.
How
puppy.
many, do you get loads of extra for that? Like,
So
what's-
you can do 2 or 3 different head variations. Each of them have different tentacles.
Oh, so that means you can run 3 different ones.
Oh, but also as well, you have a lot of Nurglings left over from your Nurglings kit
I used
too.
them all. They went on my Chaos Knight. Yeah.
They're like hanging onto it.
There's
on
one
two
like
spikes.
holding up on one of the spikes I glued on his head, and he's like standing up all proud. There's another like at the bottom about to get stepped on, like oh like yeah, I'm doing this.
He's getting a bit too big for his britches.
No,
Yeah.
he looks like the sassy Nurgling.
He kind of does. It's not the Sassanova. I've got
It's
that
not,
plague
but he has
plague
that.
champion model though that I
Yes,
really
I
want.
love this.
My sister bought it for me for
Do you
Christmas.
remember when the sassy Nurgling fell off and you lost it for like 3 days and you nearly cried?
No, it wasn't Sassanova. That was the like carrying the scrolls now.
Yeah,
Oh.
you literally found that like right before the Sunday clean as well.
Yeah.
when it got
So we do a
vacuumed.
Sunday clean where we deep clean the house, and it would have got vacuumed up. But I think
Yeah.
I found it like 20 minutes before.
Oh my
It was. I think we
God.
just about started. Like, oh,
Are
what's
we-
that? Picked it up.
Are we Warhammer players who practice hygiene?
You're not.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Sometimes I forget to shower, okay? Or brush my teeth.
For 3 days.
No, I'm not that bad. Okay.
Still
okay.
smell it from here, to be honest, mate. But
For our audio listeners right now, I just brushed my teeth.
For the audio listeners right now, there are stink lines coming off me.
if you're
audio
doing this,
listeners.
I'm eating cake.
Oh, for the audio listeners, speaking of cake, this isn't for the audio listeners, this is for anyone who didn't come to the gym with us, so everyone.
Yeah.
Somebody left like a cake in the locker at the gym. I know this is unrelated to Warhammer, but we spoke about the gym at the start.
It's some Warhammer fan behaviour. to be fair.
We
Bringing cakes
yesterday,
to
me
gym.
and
Yeah.
yesterday you didn't come.
No.
And we
per
opened
usual.
our usual locker. I opened the one below it because I usually put my bag in the one below Jack's, and then there was just a cake in there. And then today we come back, I'm like, oh no, well the chances the cake's still in there. I open it, I'm like, it's still in there.
Go talk about gym. You know what's interesting? The crossover between Warhammer community and
Yeah.
gym.
It's really increased now, actually.
It has loads.
It's
I
as
always
if the
see
gym community
memes
is also
about it.
autistic.
No,
That is it.
I know.
It's the autism, okay?
I always see
Am
memes
I
about
autistic
it.
because I like Warhammer, or do I like Warhammer because I'm autistic?
I always see memes about it, and there's a lot of like gym/Warhammer accounts. I mean, we talk about like
Hammer.
deadlifts for the what was it called again?
Deadlifts
I
for Dark
literally
Gods.
we literally follow them, but I can't remember the name.
Mini Wargaming Days, we're doing tons of fitness
Mm.
stuff.
I would
at the
like to
moment as
actually
well.
post some
Isn't
of
there
our
also
fitness stuff, you know.
lifting for Cabia? Is that what?
Yeah, lifting for Katie. Because deadlift's on the lift for Katie. Fit
I love
Hammer.
deadlift for
Fit
Dark
Hammer.
God.
Fit Hammer's awesome. I class Mini Wargaming Dave as one now because he does a lot of
Yeah.
fitness posts and like keeps people getting motivated.
As much as I'd love to do a sort of fitness post, we also kind of would like to keep ourselves somewhat.
I've got some leather masks so we can wear that hide our identities.
What,
one of
Gimp
them
masks?
was
Where'd you get them from, huh?
Gimp shop.
hmm
Number one customer.
Right, there
Gimp
was this
shop.
Space Wolf player.
Alex owns multiple straight jackets.
I only own 2.
Ah.
Yeah, that's why I said multiple. That's what you get.
Do you?
I did escapology.
Anyway, moving on.
I could get out handcuffs.
Yeah, you can.
So I'm not scared of getting.
Right. Moving on. I wanted to ask people about their favourite painting projects. You said Aldari so far. Have you got any individual models that...
Individual models. One of my favourite models I think I ever painted were my kit-bashed Heresy Night Lords. They were very fun.
What about your Khan?
I did enjoy Con, but I was never happy with the paint
He's-
job because it was too
He's
smudgy.
really
I love
small
the
as well.
base.
He's really tiny,
Yeah,
but he
Khan
looks
is.
really good.
He's just a Space Marine. I think I wish I didn't use as much streak and grime because I was back when I was kind of obsessed with it. And I don't like the effect as much. I think it does work, but it only works when you've got like smooth details. So if you're using
That
loads
is-
of Space Marines,
That is
great.
a sexy base though. Really sexy
I
base.
love his base. His base I still love.
For-
It's
for-
just
for-
skulls.
For reference for the audio listeners,
We'll
I
post it at
guess.
some point.
It's the base is just like so many skulls, and I imagine it took a very long time.
It's easier than you think. 'Cause you just do a layer of green stuff and you stick skulls into it. And you just do another layer, stick them around it, and another. So it takes like hour.
Ugh. So, no, your model was so good. When I first saw it, because of the skulls around it, so perfect circle in the base, looked amazing. Khan, beautiful on top. I didn't know Khan was a model, so I thought it was a commemorative series thing, like one of the really special, like rare ones. And I was like, wow, that's sick as hell. Then I was like, wait, you did that base yourself? What the fuck?
I've never really had an urge to do a proper base before, but I looked at Khan and I was like,
Yeah.
world, like every picture you see of a World Eater captain, they're jumping off a load of skulls.
You know, it was.
Can't have to.
You said I've inspired you to do some better basing. That inspired me to actually do some proper basing. You know.
That's actually the only base I've ever done properly. All my others
it's
you guys
incredible.
have seen.
It was. I thought it was an actual model. Like, it was so cool.
I do love them skulls.
What about you, Neve? What about your painting?
I was gonna ask you first, but
I've just answered.
yeah, you said you're Sylvaneth, but what about individual model?
Typhus.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
I love my Typhus. I did my Typhus. I've had him year and a half to year.
You're asking me for painting advice on that, which was shocking.
Well, because you always good to have another like input. But it was for the flies around the back.
Yeah.
But instead of going into crazy detail, I was like, it's a very dark model, so I'm just going to do I'm going to dry brush it like grey's here, then a tiny dry brush of white. Just use one
Just black
contrast,
temper.
like nice and bright for the like nice bright light blue clouds, like smoke, and nice bright like plaguey green coming off on all
We
the
got,
flies.
Oh,
And the dry
yeah.
brushing allows them to have that depth and that brightness, and I didn't want to go over it and make it too much of a thing. I wanted it to look like,
Dark flies with green tint.
no, they're pretty light. It's a light green, but it's like, it's quite nice because it brings a big contrast to the middle where the rest of it's dark and grimy
Yeah,
and
he
depressing.
used,
And then there's this like bright, you don't expect it, like plaguey like colours on the back.
he used Bright Queen Chill for it. I
Ooh.
believe it was Bright
Yeah.
Queen Chill, which is like that nice like milky blue.
Oh, I
Yeah.
just want to drink it. Goo, 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 goo.
Nah, too chalky.
Anyone ever drunk glue? We're
Um,
called glue guzzlers.
Not on
I-
purpose.
I've got very dizzy huffing.
So let me, don't huff it.
fumes. Yeah.
Not on
I
purpose.
I'm
Oh yeah, accidental.
I'm a sensory girl, so I had to know what it tasted like. Okay,
It doesn't taste good.
it burns for days. Okay, do not do this. Do not put glue in your mouth.
Yeah, glue guzzlers officially does not condone the consumption of
No,
single plastic
no,
glue
no,
or
no.
the inhalation of said glue.
Nor
For
Gorilla
legal
Glue or
reasons.
Super Glue for
Don't
Well, you
rub-
brought those up. Oh, for
Don't
Christ.
rub Gorilla Glue on your scalp.
It's excellent lubricant though.
It does the opposite of a lubricant.
I'm
Alex.
gonna Gorilla Glue my arsehole shut.
Right. So my favourite painting project.
Yeah,
Um,
painting.
My favourite painting project. I think my favourite thing to paint has been the Night Hunt, actually.
Mm.
And my favourite big model was my Raikonor the Groundhailer.
Oh,
The
You
big,
guys-
yeah, the big.
You
horsey.
guys like left to go like
kiss.
You left to go kiss in the car or something. I don't know what you were doing.
we literally, you should have seen how steamy that shit
Yeah,
was.
I imagine in the back
Yeah,
of that
it
little
was just
car.
we were fine.
Gotta
We were
get the
mad.
shit fucked out of you. It's real.
Anyway,
Huh?
you guys left the house for like a few hours, and I just got it done. I literally just got it
I
done.
always say got it done. Edge highlighted the underside of each wing as well.
So you call it edge highlighting?
Crazy.
It was barely edge highlighting.
I mean, you highlighted the edge, so.
Yeah,
You
but
might
it's not
highlight
like
the edge.
I didn't spend that much time doing it. Right, in the time you were gone, I got it finished. But I also took like 4 breaks to just eat like rainbow laces and watch YouTube. So like realistically, I could have had it.
It
I
looks
could have had
good,
it done a
though.
lot faster.
You were gonna completely do the base in one colour, and I told her off. I was like, "Don't you dare
No, you
take
can't
such
do
a
one like that.
beautiful base
Yeah,
like
so
this
the-
and just botch it.
Actually-
You don't want to do it.
Night Hunt are like very old school. They are push fit, most of them.
It's a nice thing.
No,
with
that's
green.
not very old school.
No, it's
Really?
new. That was Sigma when it
Is
came.
it?
Like old school Sigma's like push fit.
Old school
Death
Sigma.
Guard, a lot of Death Guard is push fit.
Yeah, because they never changed the sculpts from the actual
No.
original kits in the box.
So,
like,
and
yeah,
also
they
a
do.
lot of them have special bases. Like,
Mm.
as in, like, just like pre-done bases,
Mm.
which is fine. But then when you want to use texture paint, it's a little
No,
bit of a
it's
nightmare.
so beautiful.
Mm.
Some of those bases are incredible.
Yeah.
You'll get more into the hobby. And you'll have some models that you're just like, I
I
wish
think it
this
looks
had a
good, though.
detailed
I did
base.
I did it
Yeah.
properly. I did it
It's not like
properly.
it's not. I wish it just came with a beautiful little stuff,
I
more stuff
love
on the base.
pre-printed base because they're not even bad because you just add some texture base to them, add some tops and
That's what
stuff,
I did to,
and it makes it
to
look great.
Gilliman. It's not Gilliman, right?
Good.
My Gilliman, I painted the base and I've just put some tissue paint around it,
Yeah.
just dry brush it. It makes it look nice. Oh, talking about nice bases, tomorrow I'm getting a model with a really nice base, and it's a model I've been meaning to get for 4 or 5 years now. It smells like shit in here
Stinky.
because it's Mortarian. Woo! I love Mortarian. I'm finally getting around to getting him. Store anniversary, gonna
Yeah.
splooge and get that backpack.
At the time of posting this, will be like a day into the anniversary.
Well, we are recording this currently at 12 minutes past midnight on the first day of the anniversary.
Yippee!
So
Happy
technically
anniversary.
we can go in now if they're still.
No, they would not be still open.
No, because now it's called free hour, where if you manage to get in, everything's free.
Uh-huh.
Everything's free if you're fast enough.
You know they can't stop you from drinking the paint; they can only ask you to leave politely.
Alex is banned from 14 Games Workshops.
I'm not allowed in Nottingham in general.
Yeah.
Keep this man away
So
from
no
Nottingham.
Alex.
So Alex actually can't go to Warhammer.
Shoot on
But
the
yeah,
side.
I'm getting Morty. Finally.
Oh,
Gonna update my lists. Gonna have you're gonna get. Is it ethical to play Mortarian in a 1,000-point game?
Oh yeah, 100%. As long as you play against my 2,000-point Eldar list.
In a 1,000-point game?
is
Yeah.
it just 7 Wraith Knights?
No, it's a perfectly valid tournament-friendly list.
What is
That
it?
is 1 Avatar Arcane, 3 Wraith Knights, and 1 Trooper Guardians because I need a troop choice. It's valid. It works.
Yeah, valid.
Just
That list may be valid, but you are not.
I think it's.
You are that player,
If
like
you
we were talking
can't,
about
if you
earlier.
can't play against that list, you're just shit at the game.
In all fairness, that's what I did to Neve one time.
Yeah.
She was second game she'd ever played. We were starting to get her off the guide rails. I was like, I just want to play my Chaos Knights. I ran my Chaos Knights against her. She couldn't do any damage. I one-tapped all of her vehicles off the board. And then you decided you didn't want to play after, I think it was,
2 turns of just.
No,
getting
it was the
decimated.
first
It
turn.
was the
She
first
shot
turn.
back and did 0 wounds, I think, in the entire.
I think that is. You do get those games where you're like, you're realistically thinking like, am I ever gonna get a damage?
I
shot?
went
And then you realise-
first. I
Yeah.
shot everything I had that could shoot into one model and did 0 damage.
Yeah, that's
It was
rough.
the big one. It was the Night Desecrator.
You were like, oh, you should maybe try and shoot for the war dogs. I'm like, oh, what if I still had my fucking truck on the board?
Skill issue left it in the open, man.
I can't not leave it in the open. The model's so tall, it can
Honestly,
see everything.
I'm
Don't
literally gooning right now, and you're disturbing my
You know what?
my.
I'll make a 1,000-point Eldar list, and I'll say I'll play your knight. So I'm
What's
thinking
gonna be the 1,000-point
Avatar
list?
Arcane,
Mm.
Wraith Knight,
Mm.
maybe.
Another Wraith Knight.
Well, you can't fit enough in the 500 points each. Unfortunately,
Speeders, just speeders.
I generally probably would just do some aspect warriors. Just look cool.
You know what though? You've seen me up my war dogs. War dogs are a bit unreliable. I don't run brigands or carnivores, which are the good ones. I run huntsmans and
They look cooler though.
stalkers, and they look so much cooler. But they're so swingy. I had 2 of them versus one of your dreadnoughts. I think I did like 6 wounds in total in a turn.
Yeah,
One of them died.
Dreadnought fight back.
You got locked up in combat at that point, and I was sorted because there were 2 of them, but
Oh,
it's just a bit disappointing.
I like
yeah.
your paint job on your war dogs as well, because you've done them all different colours.
Oh yeah,
I've different chaos.
So my huntsman, with my Chaos Knights, I was just like, I'll do some of all colours, like
kind
some
of-
black Chaos Legion-y, some like fresh Imperium ones that fell, and have maybe been restored not restored, but like they haven't decayed in the warp as much as others.
Yeah.
They've got my big one, which is absolutely like disgusting,
Never.
ugly, like thousands of years of hard like battles. So
I feel like
I've
you
a-
could,
I've a
you
lot.
could kind of associate, because you have the big green one, you have a pink one, a blue one,
It's each of the gods.
Do you have a
I
black
do.
one as
I have a
well?
black one that's almost done. It just needs a base.
Just need a
It
red
just
one.
needs a wash, really.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
I was
red
gonna
as
get
well.
a carnival and do a red one.
And then you need a white one from Malal.
Who?
Malal
black
Find
one.
out in episode
Honestly,
2.
I
of the
might do.
Guzzlers
I have
podcast.
a stalker. I might do that one red.
Yeah.
I was gonna do another greeny, like a bone color for Death Guard, because I just like the Death Guard colors. But
The thing is, then
maybe.
you've got your bluey one is like Zinchi, your pink one is Slanesh, your
yeah,
green is
it would be
Nurgle,
cool. It
and
would be cool.
Yeah.
It would be cool.
Black being Chaos Undivided in general.
Or Malal.
Oh, Malal.
Oh,
Ooh,
Malal.
ooh, ooh, ooh.
Find out more about
No, you'd have
Malal
to
in the
do
last podcast.
You have to do it black and white, like stripes or something.
Yeah, you would. No, do the cross checker pattern where it's like just a
I'm
square
not
of
doing
checkerboards.
that much effort with
No, like-
contrast paint.
Like the Alpha
Oh
Legion
my.
scales.
Yeah, that would, dude. You guys just like don't know what proper speed painting is. I show you guys so many just super easy
you
speed
take
painting
months
videos.
to paint. I am actually so effective at speed painting, you know. You've seen me. I will take a day flat to do like anything.
Yeah,
Like a squad, boom, done, good quality. And Alex is here like 3 months in, like I've done 3 models.
I say we, but I had a moment like the other week where I was like, I really want to see how somebody painted Alpha Legion.
Yeah. Oh my.
I was like, I want to see someone freehand the scales. There are videos, not many.
one.
There is like one video out there of someone doing the scales, and it's like they used so many paints.
Now just simply add the shadows. Now
There was
just
no
simply
talking
add
in the video.
highlights.
There was no talking in the video.
But
as far as I
they were using contrast to do outlines, like very thin tactical like line drawings, and because it's watery, I can't even like fathom that.
You have to
Yeah.
The technique I learned for getting like really
Tiny
fine lines.
bit, you just really have the pigment on the end. I
Oh
feel,
yeah,
and
but then
just,
you,
like,
you
do it.
dry it on a brush. You want to get all the moisture out of your brush because
It's
like,
wild though, because then you go over it as well so many times. I'm like, wow.
a great hack for purity seals is get a fine line of Sharpie.
Do you know what else?
It's generally
I didn't like
works.
it when I did it
Do you-
online, but
Do you know what else I don't like?
I was just googling.
People. We're also looking at Harlequins. This is why we.
I
This is why
love
we
a
got.
Harlequin.
This is why we got into this because I was like, who's got the time to do like the diamond patterns? And then I was like,
I
oh, but what
would.
about Alpha Legion painting? What does that look like? Something I don't like at all when we come to painting is non-metallic metal.
Oh,
I've been painting this one Templar with non-metallic metal black, and I think I've got in one arm, one leg, legs done poorly, and I think I've got a little bit of the chest and
It
shoulder
only
guards
looks
done.
good from one angle.
It takes so long.
it looks really bad on the table because the light does not hit it the way you want it to.
I
Who
understand
were we
volumetric
watching?
highlighting.
Who were we watching that did a Dante with no? No, it wasn't. It was a.
Dante is more understandable
It
because
was
he's
a,
super
no,
no,
shiny.
it was a kit bashed Sanguinor.
We were watching Trevarian.
Yeah,
So again, this great channel if you really want to get some like really super quick, super easy speed painting jobs. All you beginners out there, I recommend follow the schemes.
You only
Make sure you
need
do
a
it.
$300 airbrush, 700
No,
different
no, Trevor
paints,
just actually
300
Trevor
different
just needs
brushes.
9 metric tons of green
And you
stuff.
also need 14
A 3D
weeks off
printer.
work.
No, again, he just needs 3D printer. He just sculpts it himself. He's generally just
No, he's very talented. It's
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's got like
impressive.
how many? He's got like 13 golden demons.
I
something
wish. I
stupid
really
like that.
want
It's
to enter
mental.
one just to be like, I entered a golden demon.
My dream would just be to get a finalist pin. Like, imagine being able to say like, I didn't win, but I got a finalist pin because that just it still says like I'd wear that to Games Workshops and like a fucking like you will let me. I will. I'd get
You'd
the
be
job
a,
here
you'd be
now.
a VIP.
It's like shut the fuck up. I'm taking the paint stand. And then you just proceed to give people the worst advice ever. Yes, no, you want the black spray paint and you want to paint over it in silver.
Speaking of impressive paint jobs, and also thinking about Games Workshop, which is really convenient. One of my favourite displays that I've ever seen outside of Warhammer World is the Manchester Games Workshop
Oof.
window display.
That's the Ball one, isn't it?
It is.
Yes, Devastation of Ball.
It
I've
is.
seen
It's
pictures.
really,
In-
really beautiful.
We've seen it in person.
Hey,
my
Jamie, give that up.
It did up. My favourite bit is there's like Imperial Knights walking out the gate and they're stuck like torso deep in this like lava pools and lava rivers, fighting Tyranids off, and like they're getting swarmed and shit, and it's crazy. They have a big sorry, I'll shut up in just a second. They have a big Tyranid like mothership hanging down, and like loads of little like stuff coming down
as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even kit bash. It's just like made out of like paper mache.
It's really impressive.
It's too big. It's not like an actual model. Yeah.
It's really, really impressive.
It's a diorama because I know they've been doing it for years, haven't they?
I think they said it took like was it like I think they said it took like 5 of them 4 years or something like that.
And that's like full time, pretty much painting constantly. They're adding constantly as well.
Yeah,
they were saying we were in there. We were the only ones really in the shop for some reason. It was a quiet day, but
it's a big shop though. Really
yeah,
big
it's
shop.
a really big shop. They were just like, yeah, I mean, we're painting on it constantly. Like we've been doing it for years and years. Every time a new model comes out, they add it.
Oh my!
So they've got like Dante in there somewhat recently. They got Knights. They got like the new Knights. They got Adeptus Sororitas in there. They got loads of Custodes.
I suppose because Destiny probably could really do.
All the Leviathan stuff's in there. Loads of it as well.
Oh, I love that new Hunter Killer, the big brood guy. He looks awesome. That's such a cool model.
What, the Screamer?
Screamer Killer, that's it.
I really like the Screamer
Killer. That was the old. I think that was an old Carnifex sculpt, wasn't it?
No,
That's
Screamer Killer's been a thing for a while.
Because there was that old metal model. Was that a Screamer Killer back in the day? Because I know they renamed it.
There was a Screamer Killer.
Disgusting,
like first edition or
horrendous.
second edition, yeah.
Old school Tyranids are crap. I'm just gonna say it now.
I hate that a lot of Tyranid stuff is still old school, like old school.
It's not fully. Some of them are cool.
Some of them are like.
I like the big worm guy. He's still cool.
It's alright.
He's an old. I remember him from starting the game.
Mid.
Cool. Yeah.
Mid as
Yeah, I'd agree. Needs a new one.
Oh yeah.
It's those goofy gun guys.
I really like the Biovore. I might
Biovore's cool.
Tomorrow I might buy a Biovore actually.
I'm hoping to get the Autark.
And I'd actually do a Zenithal, and I'll do a contrast. I want to do contrast because contrast is so much easier, so much quicker.
Yeah.
So it looks so much better.
Do you remember we introduced our good friend Contrast Paint for the first time?
Which?
Chaos Undivided.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, and he was
Yes.
painting like jackals or something.
Just not using contrast. We're going to paint all the skin by hand.
He was painting no cultists. That was it. He was going to do it by hand. He's like, I got this really complex skin. I'm like, sit down. Let me show you my little contrast paints. I bring one down, and he's like, he literally was like, oh, I've cummed. I've done like these in like 1,000 times faster, and they look better.
It's just, I think the only thing that can sometimes be better than contrast
Crazy amount of layers,
very
and
high
highlighting,
pigment
and
ink.
like
No, high
dry
pigment
brush.
ink. Use the same as contrast because it gets a different finish and it's really vibrant.
Jack was a contrast denier for a while.
I really was. I've been doing it on my demons, my Nurglings I do it, my puppies I do it, my Chaos Knights I do it, and now I'm like, I've got all those nids. I'm gonna do those nids contrast, and I cannot wait.
You almost like didn't go down the path of contrast because you tried to do a Blood Angel in contrast that you'd already spread black and it didn't look very good.
No, I sprayed black and then I Xanathalled him.
Yeah.
I Xanathalled him way too lightly.
Yeah,
so like the bottom half of him was pretty much black, but I realised now with Xanathal you actually need all of it to be pretty much grey,
except
and then the
recesses.
recesses stay a little black.
So you just get a free recess shade.
Yeah, and then just a very 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 light dry brush or like a white scar or Corex white on top of that.
See, I used to do the grey then dry brush. I think now it's so much easier just doing white.
Mm.
I literally just start spray painting Corex white. And you just do it slightly heavier when you're angling it more upwards.
Yeah.
So it means only the very top parts get really, really bright white and you get more of like a volumetric highlight on it.
With these nids that I'm going to do, I'm like, I might dry brush in a different colour for the underlayer to really emphasise, or I might just edge highlight it.
Do a different colour to black, do like red or blue to give it like a more living
That's
live
what I'm
skin look.
thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it will emphasise, because I'll use like a red or blue contrast paint on top of it anyway. And make the red really red.
I say if you're doing like a red, do blue underneath. If you're doing blue over the top, do red underneath because then you
It
get
might
those
look
different
really
colours.
pretty. I will need to like test it, but I don't want to waste models.
You got so many. You can test it on little swarm guys.
You have those 2 mystery box models.
They're already red. I've got some Blood Angels. Yeah.
I love those little mystery box
I
models.
don't want to paint them because I don't want to fuck them up because I love them so much.
I could actually bash them into a Night Lord.
I painted mine into an Emperor's Child. So. Kind of. He's just a purple guy, to be honest.
I really like them. I wanted to run them, but I was like, they are just firstborns.
They're old Marines and they don't fit. I mean, each time I build a tactical Marine kit,
I
you realise it's not really very good compared to the new one.
I had I had like 120 tactical Marines as a kid.
Yeah.
They were all
Fucking
thick.
hell, that's
I'll take
impressive.
some pictures next time I go home in a few months. But
I had a grass
I have
marine.
some like thick marines.
Do you have a grass marine? Everyone has to have a grass marine.
They're all grass marines.
What's a grass marine?
You cover in PVA and you just dunk it in grass and you go like camouflage.
Yeah, pretty much. But I
Like
know
real grass?
No,
no, the
tough
fake
to
little-
Oh,
this is like a 5th, 6th
Yeah,
edition
that's
thing.
not
Actually,
a
we
thing
don't do it
anymore.
anymore. That used to be how you base minis.
You know that picture of that like old school marine with the dreadnought arms, box dreadnought arms. That famous picture might be my picture.
Really?
I'm unsure because it is identical to the one I've got at home. I showed you it, and it is almost identical.
I haven't seen the image. I've just seen
It's
yours.
crazy. I'll take a picture, and it is. I'm saying it's suspiciously identical.
How would it have gotten online?
My dad is like he's old now. He's in his 60s, but he's an electronic engineer.
Correct online user.
He's
Redditor.
no. He's always been on forums for like loads of stuff. What he does, and he's super like up to date with technology.
Yeah.
So when computers were first, I think he was one of the people who like would play like video games like Pong and all that stuff.
So look at this sick model.
Yeah, he's always been like super up to date. So he's probably like when the internet first opened, it's like, look at my stupid son, like this little autist. Look what he's done.
Failed abortion.
No, my dad's proud of me. Not as proud as of my older brother, but
I thought you might say not as proud.
we've hit the 1 hour 30-minute mark, so we're on the trauma bit.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
That's what I get in there.
You don't have the joy of having an older sibling, Alex.
No, I have the choice of having a younger one.
Same.
So do
You're
I.
You're no, I
Some of
won't
us-
say that.
Some of us.
Don't drop the R word, boy.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you were gonna
All
say
right.
there, but I'm gonna.
Do we have any other topics we want to cover?
I think we've done a really good scope, unless you actually devastatingly think that we have missed anything.
I think we've had a pretty good.
I'm pretty satisfied.
I'm happy with what we've talked about today.
I'm pretty sleepy.
We're starting to fail. We've gone to the gym. Me and Alex at least did a brutal cardio workout.
We've done a full day at uni as well.
I've done a full day of uni. Oh my god, I was up. When we were up 7:30.
Oh boys, I had a nightmare last night that I slept through 2 of my morning alarms. I woke up having slept through both my alarms.
Yeah.
So it was a real thing.
I was
it wasn't
having
just a
Force
nightmare.
Awakenings to alarms, waking up. and
Don't
just
say
being
that. That
early.
freaks me out. But anyway, it's midnight where we are. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the views we're getting.
Thank you.
We got like 10 views on episode 2. We got like 30 on episode 1 right now.
And we have, I think, channel views including the shorts on YouTube. We have well over 600 now.
I mean, we're so rich from all this that I've started actually giving money to charity.
No,
But it's actually surprising. I'd say like just a bit of like honesty because we thought we were gonna get like 5 views, 3 we thought we were gonna get 100 views on the entire channel over a year.
I thought we'd still be on 0 at this point.
Yeah,
so
I thought we'd
it's
have
pretty funny.
nothing. We would be like just because it is just like a passion project.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see that at least there is someone who will click on the video, not even watch it.
Just give it a little click, watch the intro, go like,
Somebody-
fuck this.
Yeah, we appreciate any like anything really.
Yeah.
Any like feedback as well would be great.
Yeah.
The fact
IP
that-
addresses, bank statements, postal security
Oh,
numbers.
I will give you a kiss if you sub. Thank you, and that is it. So good.
Also, doing a giveaway at 1 million
No, we're not.
subscribers.
Fortnite gift